What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone, and welcome back to another transfer news video. You might say it's not really transfer news activity. However, because of the Club World Cup and an extra transfer window period, it is transfer window time already. Even though we're fighting for top four, the news is the news, and the top four race is a top four race. We know in which situation we're in, and we discussed that at length as we will do throughout this week. However, hands up in the comments, put up your hands if you believe that Nicolo Savona was getting linked to Manchester City and Liverpool, other teams as well, but Man City and Liverpool. Put your hands up in the comments, put a hand emoji, and actually, I will top you that if you knew that Juve would be rejecting that, put two hands up in the comments emojis because it's wow. This is probably the craziest bit of news I've discussed on this channel in a very long time, and we have gone through it the last, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years, whatever, how long this channel is running. But this one tops it all off. So let's dive into it. Also, there is an update on De Bruyne, one you will absolutely dislike for so many reasons. But before we get into it, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's start the window or whatever, the transfer period almost off with the weirdest bit of news I will probably ever discuss on this channel. So, Nicolo Savona, a player, I'm gonna say 70% of the fan base, let me say 40% of the fan base just hates. Another 30% of the fan base is like, yeah, I mean, just get him out, and whatever. And the other 30% is like, I do believe in Nicolo Savona. I don't know in which category you are. I'm in the category of, I'm not one of those persons saying he's absolutely complete rubbish, he's a waste of space. I'm not one of those. Do I think he's ready right now? Depends on what you're going to ask. If you ask him to just defend in a back three, I think he's ready. I think he's ready to do a job. Is he world class? Is he a top player? Absolutely not. Impossible, because he just came from the next gen as well. So that's my stand on it. Now, the fact that Man City and Liverpool are in for him or are looking at him is crazy. I'm not gonna lie, because personally, I, as a Juve fan, and probably you in the chat as well, who've watched him almost week in, week out this season, I don't think anyone, and even if you like Savona, at one point you're like, you know what? That's a player that can play at an extreme high level, Man City and Liverpool, and do it in Europe. And I think not once, not even in my wildest dreams, did I ever came to that conclusion watching Nicolo Savona play this season. Like, it wasn't even close. I think the general consensus with the fan base is like, yeah, he's a player for, I don't know, Fiorentina and stuff like that. Not for the absolute top. And maybe we are that poor, obviously. But in general, nobody was thinking about, well, Man City and Liverpool are actually in for him. But the craziest part, I think, for a lot of people is that, according to Mirko Natale, right now the club is like, he's not gonna go. And then he added, the dynamics of the transfer window. The dynamics of the transfer windows are, if a club is overpaying for Nico Savola, it's clean money. The club will take it. If somebody comes in offering 30 million, 35 million for Nicola Savona, the club is gonna sell him because it's clean money. And obviously right now he's not worth 30, 35 million. I'm not saying anyone is going to offer that, by the way, but Bournemouth are looking at him, Leverkusen, Liverpool, Man City. There is a market for Nicolo Savona. How much he's worth? Probably around 50, probably around 20 million euros. I think that's his worth right now in today's market. Like him or dislike it, these are the prices, and we know that because we complain about it so much. But never in my wildest dreams was I like, you know what? Probably Man City or Liverpool is coming in for Nicolo Savona. And you know what? I think the club is going to reject it as well. I wasn't thinking that. And I'm somebody who is not high on Savona, but also not low on Savona. I think against Lazio, he can do a job in a back three. Is he attacking brilliant? Absolutely not. He's not. He's not. He can overlap. I think he has a big engine. I think defensively, and we've seen it, he has some flaws. But when he plays against a strong opponent 1v1, usually, And I say usually, but most of the time he locks him off. Now, I know the issue for a lot of people is like, but attacking wise, he doesn't offer anything. That's why in a back three, yeah, he can do a job and actually maybe potentially be a very good player, depending on what you're going to ask for him. So let me know in the comments. Do you believe the story? It's coming from good sources, by the way. It's not crap sources. And also, how much would you sell him for? And let's be real. Even if you dislike him, do not say the comments 5 million euros. Let's just be real. How much should we be accepting, or like at what offer should the club be like, okay, we're gonna take that. We're not gonna do any stupid stuff. Next, De Bruyne didn't make a graphic for it because really quickly he is going to Napoli. It's extremely likely. However, the reports are out there today that the club Juve have been looking at De Bruyne. However, and this is the crazy part, his wages were not up to par, and apparently his wages are between 7 and 10 million euros. Now, the Creta Crescita is not gone. It's not gone. So you can exploit it. And even if it was gone completely, let's split the difference, let's say around 8.5 million euros for a player like De Bruyne. Is that a lot of money? It's a lot of money if you think about his injuries. You know, his track record lately, it's not good. That's a fact. But when you look at this team, conceding late, throwing 23 points away from winning positions. Obviously, we talk about there's a lack of quality and this and that and a coaching, and I all agree. But surely, if you lose 23 points from winning position, we can say the experience in this squad is also not up to par. Nobody in the squad knows how to get results over the line. We used to be masters in that. When we had absolute shitty games and we're leading, but we never should be winning the game, and somehow we got it over the line. We dragged it over the line, we got the result, and we moved on because we had leaders. They knew how to suffer. Not Locatelli talking about suffering. It's like we showed how to suffer, and there's gonna be something give us strength. I'm like, you drop points. So even if you showed how to suffer, you failed in the suffering, because when you suffer in these situations, you should be getting the results of over the line. And the result at the time was a 1-0. It wasn't 1-1 when it was a red card. Then I'm like, yeah, you suffered to keep it at 1-1. It was 1-0. You suffered and you concede. So the fact that we are missing out or not really targeting experience, to me, is so worrying. It really is worrying. Even Conte took over from Napoli. He had players who won the title 2 years ago. Yeah, they had a complete shit season because of De Laurentiis making some ridiculous choices. But he revived the players in that locker room who are leaders, who know how to win. And they're showing up with a very bad squad. But they believe. They know how to get results. Yeah, against Genoa, they failed. But throughout the season, they got results over the line. They shouldn't be getting over the line. But they did it. And we are absolutely crap at it. You know, so for me, it's very scary that we're targeting absolutely no quote unquote older players, experienced players who still have enough talent to show up. Anyways, it is what it is. But yeah, let me know about the Savona thing, and then I will speak to you guys tomorrow again. Ciao.